1 to 300, or as I like to call it, the miracle of up and down. Ace here, and it is so nice for you to join me again this year, I hope. So let's rewind the tape. Every year I go to Minolta on Queensland's Sunshine Coast for a family holiday. And most years I take a different camera and I try and do something different. Now, 2 years ago, so 2022, from memory, I took the Zorky. Now, the Zorky may have survived communism and may have probably will survive capitalism as well. And the way it does that is by chewing up rolls of film. Yes, that little comrade of a camera just seems to chew up 35mm film, one roll at a time. I haven't had much luck with that camera. When I have, the results have been disappointing. So 2 years ago, 2022, I used the Zorky. This year I continued that theme and I'm still going to use a film camera, and you probably already guessed either by the thumbnail or by the start of the video what type of camera I am using. So we're not going to go Comrade today, we're not going to go Soviet, we are going Japan. The camera that I've been using, or that I used rather, was or is the Minolta 7000, which, as you know, it was the first autofocus SLR on the market, a Minolta 7000. Now you might know me, or if you know me, you know that I hate zooms. I think they're the work of Satan. I think they're totally evil, and I really don't like them. Therefore, suburban mums that like to shoot in auto or photos of their children, they're totally uninspiring. I don't like zooms, but I broke the rules, as I often have been with this Minolta 7000, and I got this zoom. I got this zoom for a song, the 1 to 300. Here we go again. I just dropped my script. Look at that. First impressions, it is a pervert of a lens. Well, I used the Minolta 7000 with that 1 to 300 lens. I broke all my rules. So please, film friends, I know a lot of you already use zooms, and all power to you. They're just not for me. Before I get and have a chat about the camera, I took 2 rolls of film. In fact, I took quite a few rolls of film, but only shot 2. They were hand-rolled Kodak 250D, and they both had like 40 plus shots in each. I was pretty surprised. So let's get back to this Eye of Sauron lens. I can see why a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean perverts, like this lens. People that like to hide behind bushes or in kids' playgrounds, sweaty and breathing heavily, might like this lens. And just because I was puffed when I used this lens, because I was walking up a hill, it doesn't mean I fit into that category at all. Just straight up, I don't like zoom lenses. That's about it. In all practicality, this is a fine lens. The autofocus system worked fine on it. There is a lot of people that would actually find this lens really useful. I found even extended out to 300 millimeters, it still worked pretty good. You probably see through the video, half the way through, I swapped the lens out for the Minolta Nifty 50 1.7, I think it is. It's a pretty clear and pretty mint and pretty clean lens. I actually really enjoyed using this lens. This made some beautiful portraits, which you'll see as we're going through. One thing this lens and this camera, the 1 to 300 taught me, or is teaching me, and this has taken many years to get to this point, is realizing, as a photographer, I see the world in different focal lengths. My preferred focal length is around about 50 mils. On my XT1, which is an APS-C camera, I use the 35, which crops to about 50-ish mils, and that's how I see the world. And it's taken me a long time to get to that. I just don't see the world with these focal lengths. I can see why it's useful. I can see why people enjoy it. My photographic eye doesn't like that. I prefer to be really quite close to my subjects, especially if they're people, which you know if you've had a look at any of my street photography stuff. So it's actually pretty fine. It was a great holiday. It was great to get out. It was great even just to use a different camera, even though I didn't enjoy the experience necessarily of the 1 to 300. It's always nice getting out with a camera. When I put the 50mm on it, it was much better. I enjoyed that process exponentially more. It was really quite fantastic. Like I said earlier, crew, it's going to be a good year for photography. I've set some really good goals that I'm looking forward to meeting. They're going to be difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. My good friend and fellow YouTuber and photographer, Shutter Slaps, if you've heard me call him out before because he's a good friend as well, I'm borrowing his sign-off, and he said, everything is an adventure when you've got a camera in your hand. So that's going to be my sign-off for this year. So crew, everything is an adventure with a camera in your hand.